over 3 million kilometers between 16th and early 18th century. Like previous empires, the British Empire began to crumble on its weight of overstretched territories and growing unrest in our various colonies. Today, the British Empire no longer exists. What is in place is the Commonwealth of Nations, a loose association of sovereign states which recognize the King of England as the titular head. Western Spring Television identifies the British Empire as a watershed empire in history. Ahmadu Bello, a Prince Royal, was born 6th of December 1910 at Raba Village, Sokoto, northwestern Nigeria. His father was a district head and heir apparent to the Sultanate throne from the house of Usmanu Danfodio, a religious and social reformer who brought the Habib dynasty under the Fulani Caliphate in the beginning of the 19th century. Ahmadu Bello raised the bar of political consciousness in participation when, in 1944, he engineered the establishment of the Northern People's Congress (NPC) as the first political party in northern Nigeria and the rallying point for politicians in the region before independence. History will not forget Ahmadu Bello for his charisma and political sagacity, which provided easy passage for his kinsmen to assume political and administrative positions in Nigeria's post-independence era. The distinguished elder statesman and Sardauna of Sokoto has his face on his country's 200 naira currency as a mark of honor to one of the architects of Nigeria's independence. Western Spring Television identifies Ahmadu Bello as a watershed character in history. This iconic African presents the narrative of a man destined to exert an imperishable global influence in Western education. His was a story of a freeborn, captured and sold into slavery. He was born in Oshogun, a native Yoruba village near Iseyin in Okiogun axis of southwest Nigeria. Samuel Ajayi Crowther was the foundation student of Fora Bay College, Sierra Leone, the foremost university where the pioneer set of native Africans were educated. Samuel Ajayi Crowther's greatest contribution to humanity was his translation of the Holy Bible into the Yoruba language. The man who authored the Yoruba dictionary was also credited with the translation of English classic hymns into Yoruba and the Ekwere languages. Samuel Ajayi Crowther's private residence in Badagry, incidentally the first story building in Nigeria, is an archival museum dedicated to the memory of Africa's first bishop. Western Spring Television identifies Samuel Ajayi Crowther as a watershed character in history.
Arrested, affected, sound, found. What do we see? What do we say? Flowing from a spring. A fact A to Z. Check and confirm. Ever expounding current events. Traveling down from the business gist to the globally arising happenings, to the sport news, to the bittersweet infos. Guided transmission, even diffusion, vast and fast. Detailed facts are fled. Within seconds, nuggets of words that flew across borders are fired. Stories short and long, wrapped in bundles of words, broken and dissected as it is, except misheard. This is the news as it is.
Sports is a culture on its own. It has its own language, its own people, with their own way of life. The world of sports is never void of actions, stories, dramas, and scandals. I guess you need a sports show that can walk the walk and talk the talk.
On this show, we answer all your sporting questions. The whens, the whys, the wheres, and even the what ifs. Sports Spring is that show that will give you that new lease of life you've been looking for in sport journalism. Join me, Joseph ATEWEH,
And your sports Amazon, NENGI Ernest.
on this station, Western Spring Television, channel 190, only on Star Times.
Let's talk sports. Let's speak the most universal language of the world.
Kiriji War, also known as Ekiteparapo War, was waged among Yoruba main ethnic groups which emerged from the ruins of the fallen Oyo Empire that were desperate to replace the awesome powers hitherto wielded by the Alaafin of Oyo. The Kiriji War is defined as a conflict of confederacy and unitary political system championed by Yorubas of different socio-economic and political interests. The Ibadan military aristocrats felt they deserved a dominant position for saving Yoruba land from being totally submerged by the Fulanis by their victory in Osogbo War of 1840 and Ijaye War of 1862. Kiriji War, that took its name from the booming motor sounds of European arms, festered for so long because the Industrial Revolution in Europe provoked high standards of slaves. The 16-year Civil War also caused the emergence of new powerful kingdoms like Ibadan and the rise of powerful personalities like Oluyole, Ogunmola, Kurumi, Latosha, Shodeke, Fabumi, and Ogedengbe. One of the fallouts of Kiriji War was the birth of creative political and leadership structure in Yoruba land that was a blend of federalism and the autocratic monarchical system. Western Spring Television identifies Kiriji War as a watershed event.
You are the God who was, who is, and is to come. And in you I trust. My life is in your hands, Jesus. You
Wednesdays.
Good morning, welcome to another episode of Sports Spring on Western Spring Television. My name is Joseph ATEWEH, saying good morning.
And a whole lot to talk about today when it comes to headlines making the world of sports, and definitely would start off with the Super Eagles and talk about the preparations for their clash slated on Sunday against Sao Tome and Principe. All of this and more is what we'll dish out to you this morning. Thanks for joining us on the Thursday edition of Sports Spring on Western Spring Television. I am NENGI ERNEST-ADEMOLA. Thanks for joining us again.
We start from the local scene where the Super Eagles on Wednesday evening kicked off their preparations for the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations qualifier against Sao Tome and Principe at the Godswill Akpabio International Stadium in Uyo. The team's first training session started by 5 p.m. at the practice pitch of the glamorous stadium. The Super Eagles goal leader, Victor Osimhen, and 21 other players took part in the training exercise, which consists of physical exercise, fitness, and conditioning.
And just to add to that, those in training yesterday included Jamilu Collins, Taiwa Woniyi, Wilfred Ndidi, Raphael Onyedika, Calvin Bassi, William Troost Ekong, Ola Aina, Semi Ajayi, Joseph Aribo, and Ademola Lukman. And the first batch of players to arrive had new boys, Jordan Torunaria, Gift Urban, and Victor Boniface, as well as Francis Uzoho, not leaving out the likes of Tyrone Ebuehi, Adeleye Adebayo, Bruno Yemachi, and Eimba Goli, Ojo Oloruleke. Now, the second batch was made up of Kelechi Hianacho, Samuel Chukwueze, and Moses Simon. And just to also remind you that the Super Eagles are top of their qualifying group with 12 points from 5 matches, but they will need at least a draw with the bottom team, Sao Tome, to win the group ahead of second place Guinea-Bissau, who will host Sierra Leone at the same time on Sunday. And both Super Eagles and Guinea-Bissau have qualified for the 2023 AFCON, which will be played in Cote d'Ivoire in January 2024. And no matter how Sao Tome and Principe would want to do this one, they are already out of the competition. And we also know that the Super Eagles just needs probably to, defeat them to get into the main edition for the AFCON come January 2024. And still more updates are coming your way as it concerns the Super Eagles and their preparations ahead of January 2024. Of course, I'll be reminded that on Sunday that match is slated to hold at the Godswill Akpabio Stadium right there. We also understand the fact that an Algerian ref has been made available to officiate that particular match. And yesterday, news reaching us was the fact that the Super Eagles of Nigeria changed their traditional hotel, and the reasons is what we're yet to confirm at that point. But those are some of the updates coming from the Super Eagles camp.
And away from that, we must move on. We told you earlier that an Algerian ref will be officiating that game, but we must move on where we understand that the Confederation of African Football CAF has on Wednesday approved the Adokia Masimaka Stadium in Port Harcourt as Rivers United home ground for the preliminary round of the CAF Confederations Cup. And the Nigerian 2022-2023 champions are played in their group, all their group stage matches in the 2022-2023 CAF Confederations Cup at the Godswill Akpabio International Stadium in Uyo. But CAF has now approved the Adokia Masimaka Stadium. Right there in Port Harcourt, rather. Now, CAF then stopped Stanley Guma's side from using their original home ground as it failed to meet the required standard to host international matches. But then the Pride of Rivers, having met the requirements, have finally returned to play in the front of their home fans as they've got CAF's approval to host the preliminary round in Port Harcourt. Well, congratulations to them. Do not forget that we just have 2 teams from the NPFL still representing themselves in the continent. We have Bendel Insurance
Insurance. And aside from that, Rivers United, and we just gave you the news about the fact that Rivers United have gotten their stadium, the Adokia Miesimaka Stadium, approved by CAF. So it's definitely going to be a life-changing one for them, because they would want to do very well when they're performing in front of their home crowd. Now, leaving that aside, let's get to give you updates coming from the Nigerian Premier Football League. Of course, it's no news that the new season, the 2023 and 2024 NPFL season, has been postponed. In fact, that suffered postponement for the very third time this year. Now, the Nigerian Premier Football League on Wednesday, which was yesterday, announced the postponement of the 2023 and 2024 season, which was scheduled to kick off on Saturday, September 9th. And the board of the NPFL, while announcing the postponement, cited the need to have members focus on the annual general meeting of the Nigerian Football Federation, which will hold in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State. And the chief operating officer of the NPFL, David Sinowumi, explained in a statement that the league body yielded to representations from various stakeholders in reaching the decision. He also added that the postponement has been communicated to the clubs so they can stand down, travel plans already being made. Now, the NPFL Chief Operating Officer also said that the new kickoff date will be communicated in a few days, and the defending champions Eyimba of Aba were supposed to begin their quest for another NPFL title with a home game against the Federation Cup champions Bendel Insurance on September 9th, but this is the second time that the 2023 and 2024 NPFL season will be postponed, having been shifted from August 26th to September 9th. You know, at this point in time, Joseph, I think something happened during the weekend where JJ Okocha was being interviewed, and he did talk about the fact that instead of watching the NPFL, he would rather go with the EPL game, and he was dragged, he was criticized. And these are some of the things, I mean, who would want to sit down and keep waiting for things like this to be postponed, when meanwhile there's the EPL, there's the German Bundesliga, and a whole lot of top flight leagues that have kick-started. So I think at this point in time, he should be vindicated by what is currently ongoing due to the postponement of the NPFL once again. Well,
you can liken it to a private university and a government university. A private university, you know when you're coming in and when you are leaving, but government, it takes the grace of God for you to graduate. And that's the same thing with the Nigerian Premier Football League. Absolutely. You're very inconsistent. No pattern when you watch. I mean,
there has not been any season that it has not suffered postponement.
No pattern, nothing at all when it comes to Nigerian Premier Football League, to be honest with you. So I would definitely go with JJ Okocha saying, I'd rather watch the EPL rather than watch the Nigerian Premier Football League. I probably must be walking on the streets of Agumbelewo, looking at the flowers and cars passing. I've been honest with you, except something is being done because we had a date. We contemplated if it should be an abridged or it should be a full season. We chose a date. We cancelled. We chose another one, and now it has been cancelled again. So one wonder what is going on with the board of directors.
I would not be surprised that at the end of the day, when we finally fix a date for the new season, it will now be an abridged league version again. I would not be surprised.
We won't be surprised. Away from that, former champions, Plateau United had to cut short their trip to honor the opening fixture of the 2023-2024 Nigeria Professional Football League against 3SC in Ibadan, following the postponement of the new season by the league board on Wednesday. Plateau United were scheduled to face 3SC on Saturday, the 9th of September, in the league's curtain raiser. And sources within the club told reporters that the team had reached Abuja when they got the information and had to make their way back to Jos. Well, this is sad.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, that's a wastage of money right there in terms of transportation. But still, giving you update as it concerns Nigerian Premier Football League, we've told you about the postponement of the new season, which was slated for September 9th. But right now, it has been postponed indefinitely. And the chief operating officer of the NPFL has said that a new date will be announced in due course. And of course, that caused the Plateau United, they are traveling and all of that. Now, still on NPFL update, Nigerian Premier League club Bendel Insurance has issued a statement denying the transfer of their defender Benjamin Tanimu to a Spanish club. Now, it was reported on a certain section of the media on Monday that the utility defender has joined the Spanish 4th-tier league side, Lleida B team. But the Benin Arsenal on Wednesday afternoon released an official statement denying the rumor and confirming Tanimu as a bona fide player of the club. Now, Tanimu scored the final penalty that ensured the insurance victory over Asoshlev of Algeria in the first preliminary round of the CAF Confederation Cup. There you have it on the screen. That's Benjamin Taminu of Bendel Insurance. And of course, they have come out to debunk the rumors that Tanimu is off to Spain.
And away from that, European football body has released a list of 30 players listed for the 2023 Ballon d'Or, and Nigeria's Super Falcons attacker Asisat Oshoala featured prominently on the list. The list, which was released on Wednesday evening, featured some outstanding female footballers across the world. Nigeria international, who had a decent season with the Spanish Iberdrola side, FC Barcelona Feminine, was considered to be among the best 30 players in the world. After having a fruitful season with Barcelona, Oshoala also provided a good performance, I should say, for the Super Falcons at the just concluded 2023, the Women's World Cup in Australia. A goal against one of the hosts, Australia, ensured a maximum point for the 9-time African champions. And
not just for Asisat Oshoala, which of course her picture has been displayed on the screen. Well, congratulations to her first and foremost. Aside from that, we also understand and we also know that Super Eagles and Napoli forward Victor Osimhen have been nominated for the 2023 Ballon d'Or Awards. Now, the Napoli striker becomes the first male Nigerian footballer to receive a nomination since 1999. That's about 24 years ago. Now, the lanky striker propelled Napoli to a first league crown since 1990, scoring a good number of goals and winning the Capocanor. Now, the 24-year-old joins Lionel Messi, Kylian Mbappe, Erling Haaland, and Julian Alvarez, Jude Bellingham, the likes of Nicolo Barella, not left aside, Karim Benzema, Yasin Bono, Kevin De Bruyne, Ruben Diaz, Antoine Griezmann, Ilkay Gundogan, Josko Gvardiol, and Harry Kane on the short list. Now, other names, of course, evident in that particular short list that would not leave out are the likes of Randall Kolomwani, Robert Lewandowski, Emiliano Martinez, Lautaro Martinez also. We have Kim Min-jae, Luka Modric, Jamal Musiala, and all of them, not leaving out Vinicius Junior, Bukayo Saka on that list. But then we understand the Napoli striker and also the Super Eagles striker has been nominated, and the winner of the 2023 Ballon d'Or Award will be announced in a ceremony in Paris on October 30th. All
right, so let's look at the chances of these guys making it to the top 5 here. So how it works, what did they win? Napoli won the league. Victor Osimhen, the highest goal scorer in the league.
Absolutely.
Nigeria, as a nation, I don't think there was any international competition this year, no?
It's just the AFCON qualifiers that
they're topping at the moment. Would that be enough to take him to the top 5? I'm looking at other contenders. Manchester City won the Champions League. Manchester City won the treble there. So the chances,
we have Erling Haaland there also on the list.
Haaland, of course, the winner, eventual winner. But I'm just looking at Victor Osimhen's chances of making to the top 5 here. Very slim. For Asisat Oshoala, the Super Falcons go to the round of 16 at the FIFA Women's World Cup.
Absolutely.
Asisat Oshoala was joint top scorer in the Spanish league. They won the league.
They won the UEFA
Champions League.
Yeah.
So Asisat should make the top 5.
Absolutely, she should make the top 5. Well, congratulations to the both of them, Asisat Oshoala and Victor Osimhen. These are two Nigerians making us proud whenever it comes to even Nigeria representing a Nigerian, also the top flight leagues where they apply their trade. So we'll see how things pans out to be, but definitely we're tipping that they at least must be among the top 5 when it comes to the list. Now, moving away from that one, let's go into the world of unlimited sports as it concerns Nigeria. And let's talk about basketball this time around. We understand that a FIBA Youth Camp is slated to start, and let's give you update as it concerns that. Now, the BK Arena in Kigali, Rwanda is ready to host female players from Nigeria and 14 other countries in the 2023 FIBA African Youth Camp. And let's not forget that, of course, this was where the last basketball competition was hosted, where Nigeria won a 4-peat in that way. Now, FIBA Africa is making a point of continuing its development projects this year, and as part of this initiative, the FIBA African Regional Youth Camp will take place in 2023 after 2 successful editions in 2021 and 2022. And the girls-only camp will take place in Kigali, Rwanda, like I stated earlier on, from September 26 to 28. In each camp, 45 players from 15 countries and 15 coaches will be in action, with 15 female coaches for the Kigali camp. Well, of course, when you talk about basketball, we also understand that Nigeria is always ably represented, both for the men and women. But of course, this time around, the women doing pretty well when it comes to this competition. And of course, the campaign is just for further development as it comes to the world of basketball. And moving away from that, Joseph, let's talk about...
before we go on a quick break here, I must talk about the 9 boxers that have departed Nigeria for Senegal. 9 boxers have departed Nigeria for Senegal, and that's the information reaching us. Absolutely.
Now, ahead of the Paris 2024 Olympic boxing qualifier, 9 boxers depart the shores of Nigeria on Wednesday for Dakar, Senegal, venue of the event. Do not forget, recall, was it yesterday now we brought you news about the weightlifters who are also in Dubai at this point in time. Now, over 20 boxers have been camping in the last few days, getting ready for the qualifier that will commence this weekend. And after thorough training, 9 boxers consisting of 3 males and 6 females were picked to carry the Nigerian flag in Senegal. And the African Olympic boxing qualifiers is scheduled for September 9th to 15th, 2023, which tells you that in the world of unlimited sports, as it concerns Nigeria, a whole lot of events is bound to happen in the month of September. The male boxers are 3, female boxers are 6. Among the male boxers, we have Omole Dolapo, Fatai Moshood, Olaore Adams, and for the female, we have the likes of Adeshino Zainab, we have Cynthia Ogunshemilore, we have Damilola Shodukbe, and the head coach, not leaving out the head coach, and that's none other than Anthony and Coach Adura Olalehin.
Well, that's it from the local scene here. We need to go on the break. When we come back, we'll give you more stories making headlines in the world of sport. Don't forget the UEFA Champions League qualification series for the female is on. Let's give you some highlights. Arsenal played yesterday, 3 goals to nothing. It ended against Lip Pumpkins. We'll be back.